Hello, hello. The gang is all here this evening. As you can see, there are three of us. The trio is back. Cory Hays, Nick is here. I am JPJ. A big episode of Raw Dogs tonight, as we had ourselves a giant episode of Monday Night Raw, emanating from, if I do say so myself, the greatest city on earth, Boston, Massachusetts. And it was John Cena's, the home, not hometown, but the home state boy, making his last ever appearance tonight. And he put on a wonderful. Yeah, close enough. He literally grew up. They showed the West Newbury sign, and I was like, I was on that road yesterday. That is 10 minutes from my house. But yes, a wonderful Monday Night Raw that we're going to dive into. But first and foremost, how are you fellas doing this evening? Nick, good to see you, pal.
Hey, it's good to be back. We were just talking offline about it's been a little bit since the three of us were together, so it's cool to get the band back together, so to speak.
Yeah. Glad you are well. Cory, how are we doing, my friend?
I'm doing better today. I wasn't doing so well yesterday, and you obviously know why I wasn't doing so well yesterday.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Did your team happen to lose to the best team in the NFL? Is that what happened yesterday?
Both of my teams, area teams, yesterday.
There we go. Listen, I'm not going to brag, but
they both lost yesterday, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not going to brag, but my New England Patriots are playing quite well. But we are not here for that. We are not here for that. But
they definitely did play well yesterday.
They did. Drake May is a real one. But we are here, Monday Night Raw, emanating from Boston, Massachusetts, and we started the show off with Triple H in the ring. And he cuts a promo. He's saying, there's a lot of debate.
Shocking.
Yeah. Well, listen. He very rarely enjoys he doesn't like being the center of attention.
He likes to shy from the spotlight. I've heard.
Yeah,
he doesn't like the spotlight.
Not at all. Not at all. Why would we just start the show and go right to Cena coming out? No. But Triple H cuts a promo. He says, we live in a world where not a lot of people agree on things, but I think tonight in this city, on this show, I think there's one thing that we can all agree on. And he introduces the greatest of all time, as he says that he believes John Cena is the greatest of all time. And John Cena comes out to a what? Yeah, we did get that. We did get a super chat here. So we're going to have to show that on the screen as well. But Cena comes out to a hero's welcome.
Yeah.
A hero's welcome, gigantic ovation. As you would expect in Boston. I just thought, even though, we kind of ragged on Triple H there, I thought the whole beginning leading into kind of what we see, I just thought the pop for Cena was just incredible, as you would expect. I just thought they really set up the beginning of the show. Like, we knew it was a special night from the second the show started, Nick.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like you said, we gave Triple H a hard time, but he does do a good job when he's in this kind of role. He does promote the show very well, and I feel like he did give John Cena the introduction that the 17-time world champion so richly deserved.
100%. And then, John starts cutting into his promo, and he's saying, he wants to give back to the fans, kind of like they mentioned it in this promo, but they didn't really talk about it the rest of the night. In this promo, he says, hey, at Saturday night's main event in December, when it's my last match, I kind of want to give back to, I want to leave this place better than, whatever, make sure this place is better than when I left it. And they announced that it's going to be a showcase that night, and it's going to be WWE versus NXT, which was a nice little thing, Cory. If you wanted to dive into that and kind of, because that's kind of out of the blue. That was kind of out of the blue. Very cool, different idea for this Saturday night's main event. It's going to be focused around Cena.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly how that happened. He kind of mentioned it in his promo, but this was a John Cena move.
Okay.
This was something that John Cena wanted to do on his final appearance. He's all about the future. If you've noticed recently, he's been down to PC, doing some stuff with the PC trainees and the talent down there. So this was a John Cena call. John Cena wanted to be able to showcase everybody on his final show here, December 13th, Washington, D.C., at the Capital One Arena. He made the decision, and I think it's a great decision. It's a great decision because for people who don't normally watch NXT, they're going to get exposed to the NXT talent, the great talent that NXT has down there, and the questions I'm seeing in the chat. WWE versus NXT for what? Exhibition matches, just to showcase. They're going to have some dream showcase matches on the Saturday night episode on December 13th. It's going to be a good one. So everybody was talking about, Saturday night's main event is pointless. Why are we doing John Cena's retirement match here at Saturday night's main event? They're trying to make Saturday night's main event a big deal now that it's streaming exclusively on Peacock and YouTube internationally. They want to make it more of a big deal, as we saw with the last one. We saw with the one that just happened recently, 4 championship matches. They want to make these a bigger deal to be kind of truly a special compared to just being a throwaway event. So the decision from John Cena to go ahead and say that I want this for my final show and I want to be able to do this. That's the one thing that he asked Triple H. He said, "Can we do this?" And Triple H said, "Yeah, I'm cool with that." So it's going to be interesting to see exactly the matchups that they come up with and what we're going to do this final month now of John Cena's farewell tour. Because after tonight, we have 3 appearances left.
Wow.
And after this segment, he talked a little more. In this segment. You had the jackass son come out and interrupt him, the Intercontinental Champion, Dominic Mysterio.
You know where I first heard about that?
He says pretty much that you're here talking about the future. I'm right here.
Go ahead, Nick.
I got that scoop
Body
from
Slam Patreon.
a little known website called the Patreon for bodyslam.net. Somebody have that scoop ski before anybody else.
Yeah. And before we continue, there was a super chat, and I know we'll talk about it as the show goes, but I don't want to ignore the super chat. So it's from Sean. Thank you for the super chat, Sean. And it says, when do Roman and Cena get added to War Games? And I think AJ Lee becomes the last member of the babyface team with Becky on the other side. So obviously we'll talk about that, as we go through the show. But to answer Sean's question,
we'll talk about.
Go ahead.
I'll take the floor if you want me to.
Go. Yeah.
The discussions now, obviously, it's being teased that because Cena and Dom already happened, that's not going to happen in San Diego, obviously. Cena and Dom's not happening in San Diego. Cena needs something to do. Cena's final hoorah is going to include a War Games match. John Cena will be in the War Games match.
All right.
As to when it gets announced, probably next week. He gets involved somehow with this because Punk told Adam Pearce to go tell Paul Heyman get his team. We'll talk about that later. But probably next week. Roman Reigns will probably be involved as well next week if I had to guess because he is penciled in as well for War Games. So that would probably be my guess as they do the 2 additions to the team next week in Madison Square Garden. As for the women's, we're going to talk about how we get to the women's War Games later on in the main event. But to answer your question, Sean, the draft for the women's War Games match did include AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, so a 5-on-5 as well. So I'm pretty sure with a match that gets made official, we'll talk about later on in the show too, a match that was made official tonight with that match happening next week. I'm pretty sure that's where we're going to get those two involved in a War Games match.
Yeah, so Dom comes out, and he really just goes right to Triple H, and he goes, "Hey, I want to know what you're going to do about last week." And he really is just like kind of pushing Cena. Like, he's not even like, "Yeah, I'm just out here. I just want you to know what you're going to do about what happened to me last week," and all that stuff. And he says, "I'm the one that interrupts old man celebrations and all that." And then he said, "It's not about you tonight." He goes, "So get in that corner and let the grown folk handle business and speak when you're spoken to." And John, kind of has that snarky look on his face, and the crowd is chanting, "You effed up." And he goes, that's a fine speech, kid.
Fine speech.
Yeah, he goes, "That's a fine speech, kid." He goes, "But you're you're in Boston, Massachusetts tonight, and maybe any other." Yeah, and maybe any other night, I would let this slide, but not tonight. So you better watch carefully what you say next, because, it'll go bad for you. And Dom doesn't back down. He goes right back at Cena. And then he says, "I could beat you in any place, any era, any time." And Triple H kind of leans in. He says, "Excuse me, John." And he goes, "Well, if you think that, Dom, tonight, right now, you're going to defend that Intercontinental Championship against John Cena in Boston, Massachusetts." And a referee comes out. Chad Patrick makes his way to the ring, and we have ourselves right in that moment an IC title match, Cena and Dom. Nick, I'm going to hand it over to you. Talk about what you thought about this match, and then we can kind of obviously talk about what happened and hand it off to Cory from there. But what do you think about this segment leading into the match, Nick?
I thought it was great. I think it's one of I told you guys offline, I haven't actually watched a Raw like in full in months. Just I've been busy dealing with family stuff. Just didn't have the time or the privilege to spend 2 or 3 hours watching wrestling. But from what I have seen, like, this was one of the best beginnings to a Netflix era show that we've gotten. I think John Cena also delivered a fine speech. I think he was sufficiently fired up enough. And Dominic, this is the big thing. Dominic did not look out of place in the ring with John Cena and Triple H.
Oh, yeah.
He looked like he belonged with his 2 championship belts. He had the charisma. He had the confidence. He looked like he fit. This was the time for Dom to sink or swim, and I think he's ready to swim with the Sharks.
Yeah. And Cory, they put on a really, really, really good match. They gave the Boston fans a treat, and the Boston fans were loud throughout the whole duration of the show, really. But of this match, they never hit a lower level. It was just the same level of they were just loud, they were chanting, they were cheering, and they got a good match between Dom and John Cena, and it ended with John Cena becoming, for the first time ever in his career, the Intercontinental Champion, a Grand Slam for Cena. Cory, what do you think of this match, and what do you think about the new Intercontinental Champion, John Cena, heading into War Games in a few weeks?
The match itself was very good. Dom is a main event guy in my eyes. Dom is he's done spectacular work over the last few years since separating himself from his father. I think Dominic Mysterio is one of the guys that you put the foundation of the company around moving forward. I think that him and John Cena had a humper tonight in that ring. The Boston crowd brought it. But ultimately, in the end, we got a new Intercontinental Champion. I love the throwbacks where Dom tried to cheat again. Ode to Eddie. John Cena did the same thing, dropped the chair in the middle and gave the wink. And he said, "You're not going to get me that way, son." Dom continued to try to cheat.
That was
Dom
funny.
hit the 619. Dom hit the frog splash. But with hitting the frog splash, John Cena rolls through and hits the attitude adjustment for the 1, 2, 3 and becomes the new Intercontinental Champion, officially making him Grand Slam Cena, which is so well deserved. So well
Yeah.
deserved. I'm very happy. John Cena is the reason I started watching wrestling 20 years ago. I'm very happy for John Cena and to do this close chapter when so many others have done it in WWE. It was hard for the GOAT to not be one of them. It was hard to champion. So
yeah. I'm glad. You know, there was a lot. As being from the area, a lot of wrestling fans were very unhappy when we found out that Boston wasn't going to be the last match for Cena. So I'm glad that Boston got this for Cena. Like, it was clearly something special on the journey. You know, even though we didn't get the last match, which was disheartening. I'm glad they kind of gave him this moment. They gave us a special Raw as a whole, I thought, but I thought this whole opening segment, the feel of the night, the feel of the vibe, and this moment of Cena winning that title, you know, he's been doing it for 20, 25 years, and that's the one thing he never did was win the IC title, and he does it in Boston to kind of get that Grand Slam check mark on his career, which was really, the guy's done everything multiple times. You know what I mean? So for him to kind of do that in Boston, I thought it was, you know, it might not take the full sting of not having the last match, but it was a great beginning to this show.
I wanted to ask you guys, how did it look to see John Cena with the IC championship? Like, what that feel
perfect?
Like?
I thought it felt right. It felt right.
You look good with it.
Yeah, I think so. And it's good. He'll have the run until he probably loses to the guy he's going to lose to in the last match, and then that you make somebody, you give him the IC title, and you kind of go that way. But yeah, I thought, you know, for where we are with Cena and we are at the end, 3 dates left, I thought it felt right and I thought it looked right.
Mm-hmm.
I do. You know?
Yeah.
So, all right. And then speaking of the opportunity to face John Cena, we then had our last time is now tournament first round match. It was Damian Priest and it was Rusev. I thought this match was fun. I thought it kind of ended a little bit abruptly towards the end. But I was hoping Rusev would get the victory because Rusev and Cena obviously did have that WrestleMania match. And I was kind of hoping Rusev would be the guy that moves forward because of the history. And I was happy that it kind of went that way, Corey.
Yeah, with the promo that he cut last week on the commercial break on Raw, you could kind of tell already they were going to tap into that a little bit. They were going to tap into the Rusev redemption. Redeemer, I guess you could say. Redeemer, mm-hmm. Rusev Crush, Rusev Day. He cut that whole promo. Damian Priest winning the match really doesn't make sense to me right now, as he's got a lot of other stuff going on. Whereas Rusev just got out of the Intercontinental Championship circle with Dominic and Penta. So for Rusev and his history with John Cena, it just made sense for him to go over. And it was a good match. It was a good match from hard-hitting. Damian Priest was selling the eye the entire time from the attacks from Zelina Vega and Aleister Black the last few times. The Fireball, and then this past Friday on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. So it was a good match with the correct winner, in my opinion.
I agree. Nick, what did you think of this match between Priest and Rusev?
You know, I kind of like you. I thought it was a little abrupt. I know it was only about 8 minutes long, which I guess is probably par for the course for WWE Raw matches. I thought they could have went another 5 minutes or so, just given the fact that Damian Priest has been such a star in the making. I it was a little surprising to see him lose in this way, but overall, I mean, I'm with you. I'm glad that Rusev won. I think Rusev versus whoever else moves forward will be really compelling matches. Rusev versus, and we'll get into this later, Sheamus maybe could be a great match. So yeah, I was mildly surprised, but not disappointed by the result.
Yeah, I'm there too. And then we had a couple backstage segments. So AJ Styles and Dragon Lee are chatting with Adam Pearce and they're saying, hey, we want to be fighting champions. We want some challengers. And Pearce is like, all right, sounds great. I love that. I'll kind of whip something up. And then he says, have you thought of a name yet? And AJ's like, no, we haven't. And Dragon Lee's like, I got one. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pretend to say, but he basically dragons with style, but he says it in Spanish.
Which makes everything sound cooler.
Yeah. And he says that, and AJ kind of looks at Pearce, and they kind of, he's like, it's a little long, but yeah, we're going to workshop some stuff, and they kind of little funny segment there. And then it kind of turns around because you hear then Maxine Dupree. She rolls up to Pearce. She says that she is ready for Becky Lynch. And he goes, all right, next week, Madison Square Garden, Women's Intercontinental Championship match. You and Becky, you got your shot. Maxine's pumped. And as soon as Pearce walks away, Becky Lynch appears out of nowhere and smashes her head into one of those road cases. She grabs her face and she says, you think you're ready for the big time? You are not ready for the big time. You don't have a chance. And that's how the backstage sequence. And I thought a good piece of business. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I think Maxine Dupree should win this friggin' title next week. They're not gonna do it. But she should.
Probably not.
But she should. Then it was time.
I'm right there with you. I think she should.
Yeah.
I think Maxine should win the title. She's busted her ass. But I think the chase continues. I think they make her chase the title a little longer. And like I alluded to earlier in the show, I think this is where we get AJ Lee and Becky Lynch involved again with each other.
Yeah, see, my thought was, why don't you just have AJ Lee come back and cost Becky the match? So you still get AJ and Becky, but you put they're not going to do it that way. But I feel like I was like, come on.
I think the reason they wouldn't do it, is because they probably want to belt up AJ Lee when she's back on her full-time run.
Yeah,
I think they probably want to belt her up, have her and Punk running together with the belts, kind of like Seth and Becky were.
Yeah,
I think that might be a smart move for them to do. Right now, she's doing her media tour and all these cons and everything still. So she'll be back. Obviously, WWE just released more new merchandise for her. So she'll be back. She is on a full-time deal with them. She's just got outside commitments into her WWE deal, which I think is perfect. WWE is working with her to allow her to continue to do what she was doing before. So, but I think that is how we're going to get AJ Lee back in WWE after her WrestlePalooza appearance.
Yeah. Do you think could she be there next week? Do you think?
Yeah. I would. Yeah, I would think so. Right? Yeah, like that would be Madison Square Garden.
Absolutely.
Would be a wonderful place.
They want to make that garden. They want to make the garden. They want to make the garden show another big Monday Night Raw heading into Survivor Series.
Sure.
Yeah. And so, speaking of AJ Lee, her husband then makes his way to the ring. CM Punk, the World Heavyweight Champion.
He says good with that belt too.
He sure does. And he was in, as he said, he was in his fighting, not his wrestling gear, but his fighting gear. As he was pissed off, he said he wasn't going to wait for a douchebag to come interrupt him. I'm just going to call him out. He calls Logan Paul a piece of garbage repeatedly. He says, I'm not going to fight you for my title. He goes, I'm going to put my boot to your broccoli-headed millennial neck was the term. And he demanded for Logan Paul to come out. Logan Paul then came out. He kind of rags Punk. He's like, you mad because I'm smarter than you? You know, he says, when you jar at him, he says it's been like he's been punched in the face by Floyd Mayweather. That's nothing compared, to getting flattened by a tsunami from Bronson Reed. He says, we got a whole new vision. And then we see Paul Heyman. And then right after Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, Heyman then takes a really jab at AJ Lee, insults her. We're trying to get under Punk's skin. He keeps on saying that Punk is the most miserable bastard he's ever met in his life. Miserable, rotten bastard, I should say. He says he's the most unlikable person he's ever met. Couldn't be more unlikable unless his name was AJ Lee. And then Punk says if AJ was Punk says if AJ was here, she'd leave all four of you in a pool of your own piss and blood. He says, but since she's not, let's go, boys. I'm ready to fight. Let's go. And then it kind of go ahead.
He said 5. He said
did.
5.
He did.
He said Paul Heyman's 2. The Penguin is 2.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Doing a little body shaming on your
He said the Penguin is 2 people.
Yeah. So then the ring then gets surrounded by the New Vision. Punk is in there by himself, but then we see Jey Uso sneak into the ring. So it's 3-on-2. And then before the Vision can get into the ring, we hear Cody Rhodes' music hit. Cody runs down, gets in the ring. They even up the odds, and we get ourselves a little brawl around ringside. And the three baby faces manage to get the Vision to back down. They kind of scamper off. And that is how this segment went. Nick, what did you think of the Punk promo? And then kind of, continuing, and officially we'll find out in a little bit in the backstage, setting up this War Games scenario here.
Yeah, so I've made no mistake about it. I can't stand Logan Paul. I can't. I change the channel when he's involved, except when it's with CM Punk, because CM Punk is my favorite wrestler. So I'm really stuck between a rock and a hard place. But I did not change the channel or exit out of the Netflix browser, as it were. I watched it, and for what it was, I thought it was really good. I think Punk is motivated. I think he's having fun. I think Logan Paul, for being a douchebag, is doing a good job with the role that he's been given. I did want to know, and Cory, maybe you know this, is like moving forward after War Games, is he going to be a part of the Vision? Is Logan Paul? Is this like a permanent thing, or is it just for right now?
As of right now, he is penciled in as a member of the Vision. I don't know how long it's going to last, but as of this moment, he is penciled in as a member of the Vision.
Interesting. All right. Well, for that, I mean, if this is what we're doing moving forward, I think a loudmouth Logan Paul with two bruisers behind him ready to kind of fight his battles for him, I think that makes for some pretty good TV. I think that'll be interesting. And then once they finally decide, if they take it this far, that they want to turn Braun and Bronson back to babyface, I can just imagine how loud the pop will be when they finally get sick of Logan Paul's shit and turn on him. So
yeah,
if they make it that far, great. I would love to see Logan Paul get tsunamied until he passes out. But for this segment in particular, I thought it was good. I hope we move past CM Punk versus Logan Paul as quickly as possible. I'm hearing rumors that they might fight at Saturday night's main event and hopefully move past it beyond that. But for what it was, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Logan Paul kind of, regardless of personal feelings about the individual, I think he fits this story pretty well. I think he fits in naturally with the Vision. He is they teased at the beginning of Raw last week, like, what? They're going to make him a babyface or something like that? And it's like, nobody's ever going to really cheer for that guy. So, I think he kind of fits the vibe. I thought this was really good. And it clearly, I'm excited to see where the other pieces fall, especially on the Vision side of things. As we get to that number 5 that Punk said, I know Heyman counted as 2, but I don't think Heyman's going to be in the match, Cory. So, what'd you think of this whole thing?
I don't think so.
Yeah. What'd you think of all this?
I thought the segment was done well. Punk was advertised to come out and call out Logan Paul already. He did exactly that. Logan Paul, like you said, talk shit to him. Logan Paul made the reference to the Vision. He saw the Vision. You had the entire Vision come out with him after that. They came, surrounded the ring. Jey Uso just teleported into the ring somehow, some way. Got it in there. I heard the crowd erupt, so I knew somebody was coming there. And then as soon as the Vision surrounded the ring, you had the undisputed WWE champion come out there and get involved. I had posted a teaser GIF on Twitter today, if people were following. I posted a teaser GIF, Avengers Assemble. We're getting an Avengers team for War Games. We are getting the Ultimate Avenger team for War Games. And I think this is where WWE honestly is going to turn the page with what they've got going on, because they're so up and down right now with their products. I think Survivor Series will be the turning point for the company moving forward, especially SmackDown. I think coming out of War Games, SmackDown will probably have some enticing storylines to look forward to, whereas Monday Night Raw is pretty much enticing every single week. But yeah, the angle that they ran tonight with the Vision versus Punk, Jay, and Cody Rhodes, done very well done by the company.
I agree. And then it was time for the WWE Women's World Championship match. It was Raquel Rodriguez against the champion, Stephanie Vaquer. Oh, I'm sorry. Sean did send another super chat.
Thanks, Sean.
And he asks, who becomes the final two members of the Vision?
It's a great question.
So I'm going to tell you right now that this is some stuff that I have heard. However, I can't confirm one of these people. But Dave Meltzer was correct with this reporting, potentially, that the final two members of the Vision team will be Austin Theory and Brock Lesnar for War Games.
Wow.
But we'll see how they're able to do that. It's going to be, I think Brock, you get involved because obviously he's a Paul Heyman guy. Brock Lesnar has always been a Paul Heyman guy, no matter what. And then Austin Theory, I think, is going to be the new Paul Heyman guy, along with Braun Breaker. So I think those are the two. And I think Dave Meltzer, with his War Games reports before the Seth Rollins injury, was 100% spot on.
All right. Way to defend Uncle Dave. Good job.
Yep. So all right.
Unc deserves his flowers sometimes.
They did.
Yeah.
Listen, of course. So it was Raquel Rodriguez. It was Stephanie Vaquer. I thought they had themselves. I said this. I was like, such a deserving opportunity for a title shot by Raquel. I think Raquel has been balling out here for the majority of this year. Like, it felt like once Liv got hurt, she knew somebody had to step up, and she was like, "Give me the ball, give me the ball." She has been fantastic. She has been fantastic.
That, but also the fact that Kevin Nash said that she should use her size to her advantage. She's been using her size a lot more and tapping into the big mommy cool gimmick. So I like you said, she has been very, very deserving of what she's gotten.
Yep.
And I think that her in this match against Stephanie Vaquer was a big test, and I think she passed the test with flying colors.
I think so
she
too.
did incredible in this match.
Yep, I thought she was very good. I thought this match was very good, but I thought Raquel was, again, excellent in this match. We've come to expect Stephanie Vaquer to be excellent in everything. But I thought Raquel was excellent in this match. It was really good back and forth. Nikki was out in Stephanie's corner to kind of hold off Roxanne in Raquel's corner towards the end of the match. We see Roxanne get involved as the referee was distracted. Nikki comes over, kind of stops that. And then we get the Devil's Kiss towards the end of the match. Stephanie gets the 1, 2, 3. And then we have all this stuff that happens after the match. Roxanne Perez attacks Stephanie, but Nikki Bella gets in there. She makes the save. They send Raquel and Roxanne, up the ramp. We see Nikki kind of go to grab the title, it looks like. The camera's on Stephanie. Stephanie turns around, and I think a lot of us saw this coming. We kind of knew it was going this way. She turns around, and Nikki Bella blasts Vaquer right in the face with the title. She holds the title standing over Stephanie, turns heel on Stephanie Vaquer, and then as she's going to leave, she rips off the red, and she's in all black. And she leaves, and she has the attitude look on her face.
Colors.
That old Nikki Bella that we all knew was still there. and she's going to have a big match with Vaquer, I would assume, at Survivor Series in San Diego for the title there. Nick, before we get to a couple more super chats, I'll go to you, then Cory. The world title match, did you enjoy it as much as Cory and I did? And what did you think of the Nikki Bella heel turn after?
Yeah, I sure did enjoy it. I think Raquel Rodriguez, like you guys were talking about, I think she has more than come into her own ever since what a perfect example of taking advice from a legend and applying it and it working out. Like, there's a reason Kevin Nash was a multi-time world champion, right? Dude knows what he's talking about. So when he gives you advice, of course you're going to take it. And she did, and it's paid off in spades for her. So I thought this match was great. I could see this becoming like an even bigger mega matchup in a year or two when these two get some more wins and matches under their belts. But I thought it was a great match, and I thought the after the match stuff, I thought that was really good. The Nikki Bella thing, like we kind of all have seen coming for the last few weeks, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes predictable is the right course of action, and that's what it was. I think Nikki's always been a better heel than a baby face. I think this will give her a chance to really kind of come into her own and remind people why she is as legendary as she is. So I think it was great all around. This was a good Raw, man. It felt like after a few weeks of not that much happening, it felt like there was a lot of stuff going on this week.
Yeah, you could tell they really ramped it up here to set up these last few weeks heading into Survivor Series. So Cory, the Nikki Bella heel turn, we kind of I think a lot of us saw it coming here, but this is going to happen in San Diego with Nikki Bella in San Diego, right? This will be the Survivor Series title match, and just kind of well executed. All after the match, how'd you feel about the way that they did and they kind of played out this heel turn over the last few weeks?
They executed it to perfection over the last few weeks, with Nikki coming to the aid of Stephanie multiple times and vice versa. Nikki Bella losing multiple matches in a row obviously didn't sit well with her. Stephanie was telling her, it's okay, you didn't do anything wrong, this and that. You get to this match, Stephanie goes over Raquel. Nikki and Stephanie are celebrating, like you said. The camera pans into Stephanie. Nikki comes from behind, and Stephanie turns around, gets hit with the title, stands over her with the title, rips off the one shirt, the other shirt with the black, which is fearless. I think it was done great. Nikki Bella works better as a heel, in my opinion. I think Nikki Bella as a heel is going to help Stephanie Vaquer moving forward, because Nikki, as a veteran, as you said earlier, Stephanie Vaquer can work with anybody. She's one of the greatest wrestlers in the entire world. Having her work one-on-one with Nikki Bella, which I did get informed that is looking like the move for Survivor Series in San Diego. So that'll be a fun one. We'll see how they play it out over the next few weeks on TV, because we have 2 more Raws before Survivor Series. So it's going to be interesting to see what else they can do with this story leading into Survivor Series. But I'm actually very excited for this particular matchup, because I want Nikki Bella to be able to redeem herself from what happened with Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, where people were like, oh, she botched a few moves and she can't do this anymore. Whereas I want her to step in the ring with Stephanie, and people are like, oh, okay, I'm definitely, this caught my attention. They've drawn me in. So I'm looking forward to this program that they're going to have now, and see where they go with Nikki moving forward as a heel.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think this is one of the matches I'll be looking forward to a lot on that Survivor Series card. This should be a fun one. And I'm excited to see Nikki Bella as a heel again. Like, just be that Nikki Bella we've all known. I'm for that. We got a couple super chats. We want to thank Ricky Dash says, is Roxanne one of the next contenders for the Women's World Championship? I would assume.
Yes, Ricky, correct. She is. There's a few contenders in the way that they have going right now that they could put involved in the title scene. Obviously, Roxanne is on a winning streak right now. She's picked up a few wins in tag team action and singles action, when people were complaining that, she just keeps taking L after L after L. They're slowly elevating her. So I think she will get a matchup with Stephanie in the near future. It has been talked about. Body Slam a few months ago put out a report that they do see big things for Roxanne Perez in the future. And I think that she does get a title match coming up against Stephanie Vaquer, because I don't think Nikki Bella is going to take the title off of her.
There we go. And then Christian sent in a super chat and said, anything on LA Knight? He seems to have kind of not around. I would think that maybe he would be involved in the war or near the top. He just hasn't. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pump the brakes for the LA Knight fans for a second. The LA Knight fans need to stop with the exaggerations of he's getting buried and they don't like him. He's got backstage heat. There's no heat on LA Knight. LA Knight is very liked in WWE with the wrestlers and with the executives. The thing about WWE is not everybody can eat at one time. So LA Knight will continue to float around in the main event scene. I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on him winning the title anytime soon. However, there are a few events that guarantee you a world championship match, and I think LA Knight might be victorious in one of those matches. So, but don't worry, guys. LA Knight's okay. There's no heat on him. There's no heat. And he's in the John Cena tournament for a reason. They view him very highly still.
All right. I like it. We get a backstage segment. CM Punk, Cody, and Jey Uso are all backstage. Adam Pearce rolls up. Punk says he's upset. He's got a team. He says, go tell Heyman that he needs to find himself a team. Adam asks, then Pearce just goes, is this what I think it means? And then CM Punk, which I thought was hilarious, he kind of shrugs and he's just like, Regal! And he just yells Regal, and we see William Regal appear just for William Regal to yell, War Games!
War Games!
I laughed my ass off.
That was silly.
Perfect.
It was tremendous.
That was harmless fun.
Oh, it was a great time. So that is obviously where we're going here. And then it was time for the second of the last Time Is Now tournament first round matchups on Raw. It was Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and I friggin' loved this match, especially towards the end. That last few minutes sequence with these two guys, they were just going. Oh man, it was so good. I very much enjoyed this match. Corey, I'll go to you first on this one. This was, again, I don't want to compare, but I preferred this match to the other one. I thought this was the better tournament match of the evening. I really, really enjoyed this with Sheamus and Shinsuke. I thought both guys came to play, and it was a really, really, really good match.
Yeah, this was definitely the better of the two matches tonight. Although I did enjoy both of them, this was definitely the better of the two. When it comes to Sheamus, you're gonna get bangers every single match. So Shinsuke Nakamura has also had a resurgence in his career, it looks like, turning him back babyface and having him roll with his old presentation and having that time off that he had, just collecting money and surfing down here. It looks like it helped. It looks like it helped him because his in-ring work is improving again. I'm very, very looking forward to what he can do next. The correct winner also came in this match because of Sheamus's history with John Cena. The correct winner had, but I did enjoy Shinsuke Nakamura's part in this match as well.
I agree. Nick, what did you think of the last first round matchup of the evening on the tournament?
Yeah, man, I'm with you guys. I could watch Sheamus and Nakamura wrestle for an hour, probably. I think their styles really complement each other. They're both really hard hitting. I thought that spin kick into the Brogue kick was a great ending to the match. I thought that was really cool, and I think the right winner went over. I think Sheamus has that history with John Cena, like Corey was talking about. I think Sheamus versus whomever they put in front of him, whether it's Rusev or Gunther or somebody else entirely, I think that'll be a good match on its own. So I'm excited and I'm glad. Did you guys see that stat that Sheamus put out that he won his first WWE title from John Cena on the same night that he could have Cena's last match. I thought that was really
On
That's pretty
December
cool.
13th. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool stat.
Mhm.
All right, guys. You're going to have to hose me down here. Because we see Adam Pearce backstage with the tumbler. And he's talking about next week's tournament matches. And let me tell you, when they told me that we're getting Javon Evans versus Gunther, boy, I almost took my shirt off. That match is going to be fucking unbelievable next week. Unbelievable.
If you saw Twitter, I put it out a little before the segment happened. And oh my goodness, there's some stuff coming in the tournament. Some stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff in this tournament that's gonna have you saying holy shit.
Oh.
People are kind of down on the tournament, but there is some stuff that's gonna have you saying holy shit.
Yeah. That matchup for next week, oh my God. And then we find out that Solo Sikoa, they did the thing on SmackDown where Aldis didn't say a name. He opened the thing for the second match and he was like, oh, I'm keeping that one here, and Pierce returns the favor as we find out Solo Sikoa will be in the second match next week on the tournament on Raw. And Pierce went to open up the second one. He said, we're going to find that out live on the air next week. I think that could be Joe Hendry. That would be my guess if I had a guess right now. But so we get a little intrigue on both shows, some surprises this Friday on SmackDown and next week at MSG, as we're gonna find out who these special people are. Nobody's asked you from a super chat, but Corey, what are we to expect with this? Exactly. I think I'm right about Joe Hendry, though. You don't have to tell me. That's fine. I don't want to know. I just want to be right when it happens. But I think it's going to be Joe Hendry.
Sure.
But
I'm not saying anything at the moment.
That's okay. But yeah, so a couple big time matches to look forward to in this first
I've been
round
informed not to.
I like it. And then we were at the main event, and it was for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. It was Alexa Bliss and Charlotte defending against the Kabuki Warriors. Very good match, as you would expect with these four. The sequence where Asuka and Charlotte were just going at each other with the strikes and the kicks and the back. Tremendous. I would like to see that one-on-one match again sometime soon. But there was some chicanery that happened here. Towards the end of the match, Nick, we see it looks like Charlotte's going to win. She's got the figure 8 on. It looks like Asuka is going to tap out. Sister Abigail is hit on Kyrie. It looks like this is over. They're going to retain. And we see Nia Jax and Lash Legend, the newly formed duo that we saw on SmackDown last week, which I actually am very intrigued about.
Sure.
They show up. They break up the hold. And Charlotte gets distracted, which then leads to Kyrie and Asuka doing the kind of face lock, elbow drop finisher they've been doing. And we have ourselves new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I want to say for the 4th time, I believe. Asuka and Kyrie, the Kabuki Warriors, are the new champions. And then after the match, all 4 heels attack Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And we hear Io Sky's music. She makes the save. She has a flurry, knocks them all down. But eventually the numbers game do not work in her favor. And then we hear, again, Cena got the biggest pop of the night, but this one was pretty damn close. Rhea Ripley's music hits. She's wearing a badass mask because she broke her nose in Japan. She comes out. She fends them all off. Poor Kyrie ends up taking a razor's edge from inside the ring to outside the ring. And the camera angle they showed, I was like, I thought she was dropping right on her head. I'm like, nobody's going to catch her. But then they actually did. And then Ripley grabs the mic and Ripley yells, "War Games." And that is how the show went off the air, with the Boston crowd losing their minds. Nick, I'm coming to you first. Again, this was just a great Raw from start to finish. And I thought the main event match was awesome. I thought the setup to this War Games was awesome. Yeah, I just thought it was perfectly done.
I completely agree. I think bookending the show with the title changes, with the Intercontinental Championship in the beginning, this one at the end of it, I think that was great. I think it's the right move. I think Charlotte and Alexa don't need the titles to be an entertaining duo. If they decide that they want to keep being a tag team after War Games, I think they can do it without the titles. I think it helps the Kabuki Warriors. So I'm completely okay with the title change. And then, yeah, man, that final sequence that led to the return of Rhea Ripley in her cool little face mask. Wow. Well, I mean, Rhea Ripley, you cannot deny she is a star. I know there's been some commotion on Twitter about who the bigger star is between Brock Lesnar and Rhea Ripley. I say both. I think they're both huge stars in their own right. I think you don't need to take away from one to give to the other. And I think tonight proved it. You know, like you said, Rhea Ripley got probably the second loudest pop of the night after John Cena, and she is a superstar. And I think now that we've got her, like Corey alluded to, I think if we add AJ Lee and Becky to this War Games match, I think we're in for a pretty awesome pay-per-view coming up in a couple weeks.
I agree. Corey, the main event and the aftermath. What a great way to end what was truly one of the better Raws we've had in a while here. What'd you think of this whole main event and everything that transpired afterwards?
Yeah, let's start with I put out another teaser on Twitter beforehand, teasing the War Games announcement. I thought the match was incredible between the Kabuki Warriors, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair. But that's four incredible women's wrestlers, but not only women, wrestlers in general. Four great professional wrestlers there who can go with anybody, with the best. Asuka, I'm such a big fan. I am such a big fan of the work that Asuka's done since she returned. She's one of the greatest. And then Kairi Sane, not only her in-ring work, but her character work that she's done alongside Asuka has been top-notch, top-tier. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair had an incredible women's tag team championship reign. I think it revitalized the women's tag team division. Fantastic run from them, defending them. More often than not, lots of challengers between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So as the comments say, flowers to Charlotte Alexa for their fantastic reign. I have to agree. Rio returning tonight was always the outlook for the War Games match. Io Sky obviously got a little time off because she was busting her ass leading into her match with Mayu in Japan. So she got to spend a little bit of time after that match to enjoy her time with her family and just stay out there for a little bit. And then Rhea obviously broke her nose on the tour overseas while they were in Japan. So they gave her a few weeks to rest and recoup. But now we got to where we are. I think the call to bring up Lash Legend on Friday and include her in the main event scene already is the right move. Lash Legend is so talented. So talented. It was long overdue for a call-up, whether it was the Metaphor Girls or Lash herself. I kind of wish it was her and Jakara Jackson, Mara Sade. I kind of wish it was them together. But at the same time, Lash Legend is a star, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do here. I'm not the biggest fan of the pairing with Nia Jax, but I understand it. They gave the explanation of why they're teaming together right now. I understand it. I know the direction they're going to end up going. They're going to have them eventually break off and Lash Legend turn into a big baby face. It's going to happen sooner rather than later. But for now, I'm just glad that she got the call up. SmackDown desperately needs women up there. Their division is severely lacking women, which is why the mid-card title on SmackDown, the Women's United States Championship, has been very dull. The same competitors going over and over and over. Julia had the championship for over 130 days, only 2 title defenses, and lost it to Chelsea Green again. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, the addition to have Lash Legend come up and get acclimated into this scene for women's war games is incredible. And I'm looking forward to the work that all of these women are going to do. And like I said, next week, I think we get the return of AJ Lee, somehow incorporated into the Maxine Dupree-Becky Lynch match. If you recall, Maxine Dupree said that she had to talk to somebody and figure out what to do to go up against Becky Lynch. I think that the person that she talked to is AJ Lee. I think that she talked to AJ Lee, despite her being close and in team with Natalya at times, even though they never teamed together on television. They were just paired together. I think that she talked to AJ Lee because AJ Lee was able to defeat Becky Lynch. She was able to make Becky Lynch tap out. So I think that that's who she spoke to, and I think that's how we're going to get the 5-on-5 women's War Games match come to fruition.
I like it. I like it. And that was Monday Night Raw for the evening. Cory, did you want to run down some of the other comments in the chat before we kind of plug our stuff and get out of here, or did you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go through it. Let's see if their stuff didn't go through. Already talked about LA Knight. I got asked, do I like Chris Jericho? You already know the answer. You can fuck off.
Can I ask, Cory, like where did this hatred for Jericho come from?
I did not enjoy Chris Jericho's last few years in AEW, where there was deserving talent in the company that should have been on TV, and he was taking the spots on TV every single week. That is where my hatred came for Chris Jericho.
Sure.
So if people want an explanation for why I say fuck off for Chris Jericho, that is why. And I'm pretty sure now he's going to come to WWE and do the same exact thing. And I'm going to tell him fuck off again.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Joseph Morris says, screw Cena for not putting over Dom. Dom getting to work with Cena in that capacity put Dom over, period. Even though Dom lost the championship, he still put Dom over, period. So I'm not going to say that whatsoever. Sean asked, Nick, who is your favorite sports team?
Nick doesn't have one because Nick doesn't watch sports. I'm more of a musical type of guy. So Rent is my favorite musical.
Where is the ruler? That is a fantastic musical.
Yeah.
Where is the ruler? Talking about Obafemi. You'll find out sooner rather than later.
Ooh, that's a tease.
Does John Cena still work War Games? He was penciled in for War Games, yes. What do you think is next for Charlotte Alexa after War Games? I think the overall direction that they've been wanting to go is Alexa Bliss getting involved with the Wyatt Six. I think they're still going to do that somehow, some way. And I think Charlotte Flair is going to get thrown back into the title scenes with the mid-card title and the world title on SmackDown. So I think that's the direction we're going. Slowly, let's see. I get asked about who the mystery people are. I said I can't say anything. I got told not to say nothing. They chose to put Nia Jax in War Games over Roxanne, Stephanie, and Lyra. In this story, it makes sense. So I'm not going to complain about Nia Jax being thrown into War Games in this story. It makes sense. The quality between Raw and SmackDown is insane. That's a story for another day. SmackDown cannot improve overnight. It's got a long way to go. They are working on it, but it's got a long way to go. It cannot improve overnight. So give it time, please. I'm right there with you. I'm not a fan of most of what I'm seeing on SmackDown, but they are trying to work on it. So give it time slowly. All right, let's see what else we got. Why do I think LA Knight's mystery opponent is Obafemi? That would be something, wouldn't it? Imagine if Solo's opponent is Tony D'Angelo. Tony D has been rumored for a call-up for quite some time.
Yeah,
so
I'll see that.
I think Tony D should be on the main roster soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know that you actually like it. No, I don't. I don't like him. damn it. I don't. Fuck the learning tree. Fuck the learning tree.
That should be a t-shirt.
Yeah, it should. It should. All right. Thank you for everybody that sent in super chats
All
tonight.
right, hold on.
No,
One more.
Oh, yeah.
One more. Yeah. Sean asked a regular question this time, not a super chat. Well, anybody not from? Yes. Answer is yes.
There we go.
That is the answer. No.
Yes is the answer. There will be people
Give
not
me
from
Dragon
WWE.
Lee and AJ Styles versus Leon and John.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. That'd be nice.
I think Leon Slater and Javon need to take the titles off of Dark State first at Deadline.
Deadline, man.
Talk.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you could do champions versus champions. That'd be nice. All right, that was Monday Night Raw. So thank you to everybody that asked all those questions. Thank you to everybody that sent in super chats. We appreciate that, and you spending the last hour plus with us talking about what was a really, really great episode of Monday Night Raw. Nick, always happy to see you, bud. I'm glad you were able to hop on with us. Let the people know what you've been up to, where they can find you, where they can follow you, and all the good stuff you got going on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a blast getting the band back together and just talking about wrestling for an hour. That's, you don't know what you have until it's gone. And these last few months, I've missed this. So it was nice to be back with you guys, talk with all our friends. We got a ton of comments, which is awesome. People are actually paying us to read their comments. That's huge. That's so cool. So thank you for everybody that does that. You can find me on Twitter/X. I'm at Western Rebel. I'm also on Blue Sky, but nobody goes to Blue Sky, so who cares about that? I've got some great work coming up from bodyslam.net. I just published an article last week about AJ Francis's food drive. He's earning money and donations for his food drive coming up here in a couple of weeks. So check that out if you haven't. And more importantly, donate to his cause. It's Sarah's House. So check out that article. Donate if you can, and follow me on Twitter/X.
Love it. Cory, why don't we talk about the Body Slam Patreon, maybe? Plug that, and then plug where everybody can find you and all the great work you do, man.
Absolutely. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever social media is, Cory_Hays407. Again, I don't know why StreamYard cut off the S again. It did it last week and it did it this week. I'm going to try to figure out why. But yeah, you can find me. You can find me on TikTok with no underscore. And then you can find me. I'm on Blue Sky also. So whatever the hell the Blue Sky usernames are over there. It's a long username, whatever are. There we go.
Yeah.
The Body Slam Patreon. We try to drop news every day or other day. So go ahead and please subscribe to the Body Slam Patreon. We got some good things coming. We added Victor Perry to the team this week. If you guys didn't know, we added the founder of the Wrestling Club to the Body Slam family, and I'm very excited for his work to come out very soon. He had his first article that he wrote Friday night come out. I published it for him. He's got many more that's going to be coming. We're going to be doing a lot of work with him moving forward. The greatest of people that you could ever meet. Incredible cause that he has. What he did founding the Wrestling Club. I have so much respect for him and what he's done. And then there's some more stuff that we're working on behind the scenes with Body Slam that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. I'm really looking forward to the future of what we're building here. We're building an incredible team. Both of you included on it. So thank you, fellas, for being a part of this journey with us here. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you to all of our other personnel within Body Slam, the PWN guys that came in, and so much more. We've got so much more coming. So greatly appreciate all of your support, everybody. Let me see. Michael L. Before we get out of here, Michael L. said, "Do you think they signed Brittany Brooks?" I think Brittany Brooks is going to get the WWE ID contract. She is more than deserving. I think she will get a WWE ID contract, which will lead to a formal WWE contract. She's been trying to manifest it. I think it's going to happen. She's an incredible talent on the independent scene. So she's been working her ass off, and she deserves everything that comes her way. And he said, "Thank you for all your good work, kind sir. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for supporting me and the entire team here. Because without them, there is no me. So thank you to all of you. And thank you guys for being here for an hour and 6 minutes with us, talking one of the better Monday Night Raw episodes of the year, and probably one of the better ones I've seen in quite some time."
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, appreciate you all. You can follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming. If you go to my Twitter, I have my pinned tweet with my schedule for the week, but I will be here Wednesday night. We usually do a post show on Wednesday nights right here on Body Slam Dynamiked Up, but this Wednesday we're actually doing a watch along to Blood and Guts. So me and Jose will be here. Dynamiked Up will be live right at 8 p.m. Eastern, a few minutes
Guts
before.
your blood.
Yes. And we will be watching Blood and Guts. Yeah. A 2.5 hour special, 2 Blood and Guts matches. Jose and I will be bringing you on the watch along, but you can find me here over at Love Wrestling. But if you go to my Twitter, you can kind of see my schedule. I'm kind of doing things a little bit everywhere. So thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for all the comments, all the super chats. Thank you, boys, for spending the last hour plus with me talking about Raw. And until next time, we will see you next week. Oh, yeah.
And
yes,
before we cut this, in 13 minutes on the East Coast, it'll be Veterans Day. So
yes.
Happy Veterans Day to all of my fellow vets out there. Thank you all for your service, and you're greatly appreciated.
Thank you for your service, Corey.
Thank you for your service, Corey. So, yeah, definitely. Thank you to all the veterans and everything. Tomorrow's a special day, and we should honor it as such. So that's a great note to head out. We're going to get out of here, guys. We will see you next week for Raw Dogs. Till then, have a great rest of the week. See you soon.